Okay, so slashers, that means Scream, that means Nightmare on Elm Street, that means Friday the 13th, that means Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, literally everything from those series. Admittedly, I won't be discussing all of them because I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen quite a lot of them. So I think I might go alphabetical. I'll start with the most alphabetical one, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, Freddy Krueger in the original is not terrifying whatsoever. I will go out and say it now. It's one of the most unintentionally funny horror films. I mean, at the time it's probably scary, but you watch it now compared to, say, some of the other newer horror films that are out, like the slasher ones. Admittedly, I'm more a fan of the classics than the remakes. But say, like, the remake for Halloween compared to the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I know you can't really compare them, but it makes the original Nightmare on Elm Street look like a comedy. And it is quite funny at times, because Freddy Krueger's like a comical character in the first. He is throughout the other films. I mean, one of my favourite moments from any of the films is the bit where he pulls the girl into the TV and says, "Welcome to the primetime, bitch," which is one of the funniest lines in any horror films. But in the first one, he was meant to be serious, but it didn't seem so serious. So I'd recommend you watch the first one and a film which. No, I will discuss that after discussing another set. And probably the remake as well, because if you're into the more violent, more serious slasher films, definitely watch that. I know it gets a lot of hate from people because it's not Robert Englund as he played Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, all the original series and Freddy vs. Jason. But it's quite violent and quite a fun watch, and it reminded me of My Bloody Valentine 3D. I didn't watch it in 3D, but I thought I'd better say that because then it clears up which one it is, because there's actually two My Bloody Valentines. And it was quite a fun watch. What others? I think I'm going to have to go for Friday the 13th next so I can talk about the film Freddy vs. Jason afterwards. Okay, so I've only seen the remake. I know that that's going to get some hate from some people, but the remake isn't all that bad. I believe it takes films 1 to 3 and does them all in the first one. I'm not sure, don't take my word for that. But similarly to the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, it's quite a dark film, and it's quite well written as well. I know that people say that remakes suck, but that's one of the better ones. Freddy vs. Jason. Okay, so if you don't know me, then you probably won't know that I absolutely love that film. It's so bad, it's good. It's a slasher film, but it's pitting together two of the most famous slasher icons of all time, and as you would expect, anyone who gets in their path ends up dying. It's genius from start to finish, it's quite funny, but it's a shame who directed it. I've got nothing against the director, I can't remember who directed it, but Rob Zombie was meant to direct it, but turned it down for either The Devil's Rejects or The House of a Thousand Corpses. Which is a shame, because I would have loved to that would have been an absolute dream film. Freddy vs. Jason, directed by Rob Zombie. Which one next do I go for? Scream. Scream 1, 2, and 4. I've intentionally skipped out 3 there, because 3 is a bag of shit. I will go out and say it now. That's probably one of the worst slasher films I've ever seen. It's so confusing and stupid, and it didn't need to be done. 1 is, obviously it starts off with Ghostface, and sets off the legend of that. Unfortunately, you can't take it that seriously after watching the Scary Movie. People had warned me of that and said, if you're going to watch Scream, don't watch Scary Movie first. And I understand why. But I did watch Scream first, and it's not terrifying, but it's more of a who's done it kind of film, because you don't know right until the end who it is, pretty much for all the Scream films, who Ghostface is. I recommend the first one and the fourth one most because they're the best ones from it. Which ones have I got left now? Halloween. Now, it seems to me that Michael Myers cannot die. Seriously, I think that they've shot him, stabbed him, set him on fire, electrocuted him. They've literally done everything to him that is possible to. And he's still not dead. He has, for some reason, survived all of it. Now, the ones that I would recommend are the first two original Halloween films, because they're not the scariest, but they're the best from the series. 3 hasn't got anything to do with Michael Myers at all. It's called Seasons of the Witch, and it's about a load of Halloween masks that end up killing people. Quite a good film as a standalone film, and I think it gets a lot of unnecessary hate because it's under the tag of the Halloween series, which is unfortunate. But the first two, and probably the first one that Rob Zombie did, are the ones that you want to watch from that series. Which brings me to my favourite slasher series. I left this one intentionally till last. It stars... Well, no, the main character goes by the name of Leatherface. Now, if you can't work out why I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films so much, it's because they don't have a happy ending. I have reviewed them, and they will go up sometime, but none of them have a happy ending. Because, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, someone always escapes. Friday the 13th, someone always escapes. Halloween, someone always escapes. It's always the same, always. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I'm going to mention the beginning. Everyone dies in it. Not the heroes, because they're not like heroes, but all the main characters that aren't the bad guys die. Which is a lot more realistic than, say, someone getting away. And Leatherface is quite a fun character to watch, like his movements. I mean, at the end of the first one, he dances. He's dressed up as a woman, and he dances with a chainsaw. If you think I'm joking, type in Leatherface chainsaw dance, and they're on YouTube, and there's videos like 14 seconds of him dancing with his chainsaw at the end of it. I would also recommend pretty much anyone from them series, because they're more realistic than, say, A Nightmare on Elm Street is, and it's quite fun to watch. So, I know that I said that I only had 2 videos left to do, the slasher one and paranormal one, but I'm decided to do everything else one as well, because there's a lot of films that are going to be left out.